And we're back. Did you miss me? Of course you did. I get to wear a sweater because it's sweater weather. I'm very excited. Well, it's sweater weather for the most of the day, not the whole day, but still most of it, so I enjoy it while I can. So, anyway, enough about my sweater. We're reading Almost Odis by me, Dusty Thompson. That's my name right there. On a book that you need to buy for the loved one in your life who want to read a book for Christmas. And for those who don't want to read a book, they just want to listen to a book, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's free. Please subscribe. I need lots more people to subscribe because I asked Google for money and they said no until I hit 10,000 subscribers. I currently have 77, so get on that, please. If you're following along, we are on page 306. The blog dated Tuesday, April 15th, 2014. Surely Doris Day knew. Rock Hudson died the day I turned 15. Seeing as how I really didn't know who he was, it didn't make that much of an impression at first. What I came to find via the Inquirer at the 7-Eleven next door to the motel my mother managed was he was an old movie star and he had died of AIDS. This being a time before we bought our first VCR out of the trunk of some guy's car at the Paris, Texas Walmart, I was not familiar with his movies I would later come to love, like Pillow Talk or That Touch of Mink. As far as I was concerned, he was simply an old-looking dude who kissed Linda Evans in the barn on Dynasty, and she had freaked out when he died, and not just because of the hay he left in her hair. Living just to the left of the buckle of the Bible Belt, I didn't have much information about AIDS other than it was bad. It had killed him, and he got it because he was gay. This was in 1985. Thanks to the Reagan White House and the rest of the country's unseemingly mutual agreement to not educate people about this disease, I thought you could get AIDS just by being gay, like black people and sickle cell anemia. What did I know? I was newly 15 and encased in a family so far inside our Southern Baptist bubble that to this day my parents have never actually had the talk with me. I suffered in silence, terrified I would get AIDS and die based solely on the fact that I knew I was gay, but in title only. I hadn't kissed or even held hands with anyone at that point, other than Judy Gray on a hayride for my birthday. Hey, Judy. My family is Southern Baptist. Conservative, but not as uptight as those Duggar people from 19 Kids and Counting. I hope they stopped having kids, for goodness sakes. The most daring thing I did in 1985 was watch 14 of the 17 hours of Live Aid, including both of Phil Collins' performances. Remember he sang in London and then flew and sang in Philadelphia as well? On the same day? Partying like a rock star, receding hairline and all, y'all. Kanye wishes he had that much swagger. And he does not. Kanye gets on my nerves. Quite honestly, I never knew and could not find much information about AIDS until I did a research paper in my senior honors English class in 1988. I asked my teacher to assign me homosexuality for my topic so I could find out something about it, me, whatever. I didn't care. In an era before the internet, our only research option was the local library. And can you guess how many books there were on homosexuality in the Titletown High School library? Exactly 0, unless you count the Encyclopedia Britannica, which I did. I was forced to do this stupid paper on this crazy topic by that darn Miss Boyd. What's her problem? And finally realized I wasn't really the only oddball in the world, just the only oddball in Mississippi. And God bless her ahead of the curve thinking. She gave me a 96 instead of a 100 because you spent too much time focusing on equating homosexuality with AIDS, and that's not accurate. I will forever be thankful to Nola Faye Boyd, God rest her beautiful soul. I wonder if she knew she was the first person I came out to unofficially or not. The reason this is even in my mind was an article in Vanity Fair magazine about the remake of Larry Kramer's The Normal Heart. The author asked, why this piece? Why now? And as a member of the board of directors of the Academy of Friends and living about 26 feet from San Francisco, I can tell you the average person simply doesn't think AIDS is a real threat anymore. They seem to think drugs and treatments have essentially solved the problem of HIV and AIDS, and that's not accurate. My organization raises money to award grants to groups to provide services or education for those living with HIV/AIDS in the Bay Area, and this year's beneficiaries are doing wonderful work. Paws, Pets Are Wonderful Sport, Project Open Hand, which provides meals for the critically ill, Shanti, which is HIV/AIDS support and counseling, LGBTQ Connection Napa Valley Youth Program, Maitri, residential end-of-life care, and Clinica Esperanza, HIV/AIDS services for the Latino community. And I'm glad I can do my part to support a community I've never fully embraced. Outside of the way I dress, I've never been good at being gay and never have been overtly interested or supportive of gays in general. I've been reading Philip Yancey's book, What's So Amazing About Grace, and I realize I haven't offered much grace to my fellow LGBTQers, and I'm not proud of it. At various points in my life, I was, for all practical purposes, a homophobic homosexual. I was taught to hate gays, and since I was gay, I was taught to hate myself, at home, at church, at school, at work. And as someone who tried to do everything to the best of my ability, I was hating on an Olympic level, y'all. Love the sinner, hate the sin is a phrase used by some self-professed Christians professing not to hate anybody. And I believe it's true. The opposite of love isn't hate, it is indifference. The church has been, at best, indifferent toward the LGBTQ community. I'm looking at you, evangelicals. I like to believe they have love for all, but I wonder if some say the beginning of the phrase solely to allow them to say the ending. Why can't we just say love the sinner and then actually do it? We're all sinners. As a Christian, I try to do that, and many of my friends and family do too. Not all Christians are hateful, at least true Christians. Let's just all agree to try to love each other in this broken world, okay? I'll be the first one to try. And at that point, I will get off of my soapbox and we'll end there and see you next time. Thanks.